Hello YouTube. It is Burbazooka. Apple News: the future of iOS and macOS. Today we will talk about the cultural shift of iOS and macOS, Tim Cook's meeting with shareholders and much more. 1. macOS 10.14, whose output Apple, presumably, will be announced at the June conference of WWDC 2018, will by default support the application Home. Before this utility was available only to owners of devices based on iOS. Regular support for the Home application will provide Mac owners the opportunity to interact with smart technology directly from the desk of their computer. 2. This week, on the open spaces of GitHub, the iOS component of the iOS operating system, iBoot, was used to load and verify the kernel. For some users, the news of its openness triggered excitement for its security, as some iBoot elements can be used to build the iOS 11 security system. But Apple said that the company's customers are not at risk of being compromised, because with the special secure enclave chip, all data stored in the iPhone are in complete safety. 3. Smart speaker should be just like HomePod. 70% of the respondents who participated in the 9 to 5 Mac survey agreed on this. Consumers, including potential, did not confuse the fact of equipping the column with a stripped-down version of Siri, and the lack of Bluetooth. They were happy to justify the support of AirPlay. 4. Cultural shift. That's how Craig Federighi, Apple's vice president of software development, called the decision to focus on the stability of branded operating systems this year. From now on, within the framework of the adopted concept, Apple will develop updates, guided by a fundamentally new principle. It assumes the maintenance of the previous update schedule with a reduction in the number of innovations for the so-called zero versions. In other words, any major release of iOS 12.0, iOS 13.0 and so on will only slightly differ from the previous one. At the same time, the introduction of new functions will be distributed between the updates with fractional numbers. One of the most significant innovations that awaits iOS 12 and macOS 10.14 will be unification of applications for Mac and iPad. Thus, obviously, Apple expects to emphasize the programmatic proximity of the two platforms, providing branded tablets with even greater popularity. Of the less noteworthy features of iOS 12, we note the multiplayer for ARKit, the updated Shares application, the extended Do Not Disturb mode and the in-depth integration with Siri's voice assistant. 5. The other day, Apple held another annual shareholders meeting, and not somewhere, but at the Steve Jobs Theater on the territory of the new campus. In addition to discussions about payments to shareholders and other financial issues, Apple touched on several internal topics. So, for example, in 2017, Apple absorbed 19 companies, 10 of which are known, and the rest are not. In addition, if you take all the services of the company, at the disposal of Apple now 250 million user subscriptions. The main leading event was Tim Cook, who noted not the most impressive success of Apple Pay in the world, while paying attention to the success of the payment service in the key countries, China and Russia. Cook also said he was reluctant to abandon Apple Store stores and move the trade online, and also talked about the recent blocking of Telegram, saying that Apple always keeps inappropriate content away from the App Store. It was not without traditional boasting, such as the degree of customer satisfaction with the new iPhone X, which was 99%. The most interesting question was the presence in Apple of candidates who can take the post of Tim Cook. It rises at every meeting of shareholders, and this time Apple said that there are such people. Nevertheless, the question of a direct change of the general director of the corporation was not raised. 6. Apple will launch a new line of iPhone X in 2018, which completely replaces the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. With the corresponding forecast, the authoritative analyst Ming-Chi Kuo made a speech. According to the expert, all three new smartphones will be executed in the style of the iPhone X, with a notch above the screen for Face ID operation. In this case, the junior devices will be equipped with an LCD display and a camera with one lens, while the top version boasts a 6.5-inch OLED display, a dual rear camera and 4 GB of RAM. Sales of new iPhone, according to KGI Securities, will amount to 115 million devices at a price of $699, for the younger version, or 105 million smartphones at a price of $799. Thus, the younger smartphone will manage to get 50% of all iPhone sales. Apparently, soon Apple will really abandon the usual screen sizes of the iPhone in favor of the sizes of 5.8, 6.1 and 6.5 inches. The frameless screen and the absence of the home button allow you to do this without increasing the size of smartphones. Thank you for your time and attention listening to me. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. You can also click the bell sign to be informed about new videos. Have a great day.